So here we are again with the continuation of our favorite crypto.
Uh-oh.
We're going to number 3 this time. So we've given you number 1, we've given you number 2, and yes, we're still wearing the same outfits, but that's quite all right because we're also on the same topic, and we might get all the way down to the top 10 list before today is over. I'm not sure it's going to get that far.
We're trying. I'm Brett Blackman.
I'm Jeff Lewandowski.
Merkle Institute. What's Merkle?
A way that we can talk about things and sit back on a Friday afternoon and share what our number 3 is. So
I went first last time. It's your turn.
that's right. So we talked about your number 1. Your number 1 is Cardano. Your number 2 is Ethereum.
Ethereum. Yep.
And I talked about mine. My number 1 is Populous. My number 2 is Litecoin. So it gets really hard down here. And I think we were both struggling a little bit trying to figure out which one was number 3. I've got a lot of arguments either way.
And this doesn't necessarily relate to holdings either.
Right.
This is just projects, what we like, what they're doing. Yeah.
Yep. So I vacillated. I vacillated between 2. I don't want to share them both. But I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go there. I'm gonna have to go with Pillar. So
Small cap.
a small cap. It's a small cap. So it's a small cap right now. A lot of this is based upon where I think the market is heading. We've talked a little bit about thinking about there's going to be an explosion somewhere around the end of February, into March, probably through into summer. And what Pillar is a wallet. It's very similar to Exodus. Exodus is my favorite, most user-friendly wallet. It's got an opportunity to store a lot of different coins and tokens in there, allows you to switch back and forth without going out to an exchange.
Utilizing Shapeshift.
Yeah, utilizing Shapeshift.
The only other wallet that I like that's better for mobile purposes is Jax, which
Jax.
is almost exactly like it. Not quite the security, so don't put a lot of money in there. But for utility purposes, is exactly like Exodus. My daughter, 13-year-old daughter, uses it to play around with cryptos.
Well, good stuff. So I'm thinking about when people come in, a lot of the new folks, again, if you take a look at if you're familiar with the technology adoption curve, you've got your innovators, you've got your early adopters, and that's kind of the stage that we're at right now. I think we're probably still in the innovators a little bit and maybe just starting to get into the early adopters. And so what that means in a percentage terms is the innovators, if you're in crypto right now, you're in the top 2.5% of everybody that's in there. The early adopter phase adds another 13.5% to the base. So if 2.5% got the market to where it's at now, which is 420 billion, can you imagine what's going to happen when the next 13.5% come on, or basically 4 times that's actually, 6 times almost that size comes into play. Pillar Wallet will be launching at about that time, and it's going to be so user-friendly. It's going to be Exodus on steroids. It's going to allow you an opportunity to get into the top 100 coins and tokens. It's going to allow you access to ICOs that you can't do today. Like, the process today, you send your ETH or your Bitcoin off to a website. Right, yeah, and it's a whole new process. So I think
Do you know, are they going to have the ability to store offline, like with utilizing the Ledger Nano?
I don't know that for sure, but I would assume that would be there.
That's what I would do if I were them.
I know that
the first mobile app that allows some sort of technology into the Ledger Nano.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. I think that's all. I would assume that that's there. The team has been delaying the launch of the wallet till they get a lot of stuff right. And I just, like if you remember the internet back before, it was Yahoo and Prodigy, there was no easy graphical user interface or GUI. And so it was a bunch of guys typing on a green screen trying to get there. And it was usable, but it really blew up when they threw that GUI on top and allowed you to actually, same thing with general computing. I mean, that was what Apple did. Apple threw a GUI on top of all that code and made it easier for Tom and Joe public to actually utilize it, which is why I'm a big fan of Pillar. It's the retail space. It's the first Prodigy. It's the first Apple real interface on there that's going to allow a lot of usability.
Good. Well, I'll be honest with you. I hadn't heard of that until today. I learned something new every day. So
trying to get off the beaten track for number 3 a little bit.
Wow. I mean, definitely right off the beaten track. Mine's you introduced to me, actually. Salt. And we had a conversation about it the other day. It was pretty interesting. I forget where I was at.
I like salt. Every once in a while in my food, it tastes good.
Right? Pepper?
Right.
Wait,
just the basics.
Salt and pepper. Are you going to blockchain your songs?
I'm about ready to go into salt.
So salt for me is taking an absolute hit right now because the underlying asset is taking a hit.
Yep.
It's getting destroyed. However, I like everything about what they're doing, and they're functioning right now live with a product and a service. I looked at their stuff. They have 61,341 active members, me being one of them, with $21,559,000 in loans funded.
So that's out there.
That's
fiat, smart contract.
Smart contract, fiat cash, underlying asset, funded. You know, since they launched, which is basically at the end of December, beginning of January.
Just to link those two together, your number 2 and number 3, they are an ERC20 token that rides Ethereum. So actually showing that it does work a little bit.
Well, yeah. And it does exactly what it's supposed to do, which is they're handling currency.
Yep.
Not smart contract applications.
Yep.
Like data and delayed. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to take you off on Ethereum, but
so they are utilizing what Ethereum's good at, which is managing value.
Yep.
Managing currency. So, but yeah, no, that's Salt. I like Salt. So a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit about what exactly they do. I know we talked. You kind of start to assume based on loans and whatnot, but can you explain a little bit about their business model?
Yeah. So they have a base, Premier, and Enterprise. It basically you can borrow up to $10,000, $100,000, or $1 million on Bitcoin and other what they determine is a valid. A valid underlying asset.
Well, loan against my bit petite.
Yeah, definitely. Tether. So then what happens is you know I did this already. You request a loan on your for whatever it is that you want. But then the part that is interesting, and I'm not sure how they're going to handle it long term. They have a set amount inside their system that you can buy a Salt token for, which is $27.50. And which basically means, because they're a utility token, and they've come out very strong as a utility token, the value of the network and circulation in any kind of exchange will never go above $27.50 until full 100% utilization of the tokens. Because why would you go pay $30 for a token on an exchange when you go directly to Salt and pay $27.50? I like that, actually. So you don't have this crazy swing up and down. Downfall is they don't have a swing up, but they sure as crap have a swing down.
Right.
So then what they're saying and what they came out with, and I can't verify this, I can't find it online. I've heard both, that they are and they aren't. But in theory, they're saying because you can buy it from us for $27.50, we are also allowing you to pay back the loans in both fiat, underlying asset, Bitcoin, Ethereum, or a token, a Salt token. And if that's the case, there's a huge arbitrage, which doesn't make any sense to me.
I'm wondering if they have a minimum time frame, like you can't pay back your loan until 3 years or something like that.
I don't know because I haven't gone through the process yet. I've applied, but I haven't been accepted as somebody that can do that. So
must mean they've got some really good searchers of approval back there.
Yeah, maybe my credit wasn't good enough. But that's the thing. The way Salt works is you don't. It doesn't matter about credit. It doesn't matter who you are, as long as you have the underlying asset. It's a collateralized loan on crypto. And so I'm really interested in watching that grow and what it's doing. I think what it'll do is, like right now, if you're riding this wave and we are down as a community almost half, right? We were 780 billion. We're at 400 billion as of last night. I think we're back up to 415 billion. So literally almost exactly half from just a month ago. If you were in a cash flow crunch, would you rather remove your position now, or would you rather get a loan if you had needed some sort of cash flow? So for me, cash flow is huge, and I want to have a lot of reserves that I can in crypto if I can. But I obviously need to keep in fiats to pay payroll and maybe a mortgage payment. So I'm really interested to see how this works out long term and what they're doing. And I want to go through the process. So Salt, if you could kick me to the top of that list, I'll give you a good review.
Look at that. There we
At least give you a review on how it
call
works.
It the Salt team.
So anyway, yeah, pretty interested in Salt and how it's working. So
no, that's good. And I'll just to jump on there a little bit too. I know that the concept there is right on. The HODL group. Hold on for dear life.
We all are.
It fits right with the Salt model because while we wouldn't necessarily give any financial advice to anybody, we're suggesting that the future value of all of these tokens is going to be tremendously higher than what it is right now. And therefore, we're less or more reluctant, let's say, to
move positions,
scrape off profit and go do things like pay for cars and do that. So if you can get a loan on what you think is going to be a long-term appreciating asset, especially right now in the market bottom, that's a brilliant idea.
That's what I'm doing, and they're live, so I like that too.
Yeah,
they're
actually have a business.
21 million in the last, I think, about 30, 45 days. So that's pretty intriguing to me that they're actually doing what they said they're going to do, and they've actually executed on the right time frames, which I'm not sure too many other companies have done that yet.
Yeah, that's right.
So
there we go. 2 consumer-facing number 3s, Salt and Pillar. Go check
Pillar
them
of
out.
Salt.
There we go.
Pillar of Salt. All right. Back at you. We'll see you next time.
All right. Bye now.